Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got thoughts on Adidas' latest Thai fashion collab, Luka Doncic and his Jordan Luka 1s, this week's hottest releases, and this week's Hard Pass. All right, let's start with some hot takes. Props to Charles Barkley for showing a ton of restraint after some fans took Chuck's ribbing about San Francisco too far, throwing t-shirts and what looked like drinks at him like he was a member of the NWO in 1996. And good thing this wasn't 1996 because vintage Chuck would have been in that crowd by the time that second shirt was in the air. The latest Man Who Can't Take Off His Yeezy Slides video is here. I can only imagine Kanye turning this into a line for his next song like, I can't let you slide easy till you finally get your foot off of my slide Yeezy. It's a work in progress. Balenciaga will now accept crypto payments. Guess you know what today's Hard Pass is going to be. More on them later. My twin brother, Idris Elba, was on the latest episode of Sneaker Shopping, and he revealed that he wants to play Michael Jordan.
I even said to him one time, I want to play you.
Really?
He was like, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
That's all he said. I'm not ready yet.
Were you serious?
I was dead serious.
Because you're competitive. I know you're super competitive.
It wasn't, in my head, playing Jordan wouldn't be about playing the basketball player. It's about the businessman.
Now, obviously, my brother meant that he wanted to tell the story of Michael Jordan behind the scenes in a movie or a prestige TV show. But some people took the quote personally for some reason and assumed he wanted to play MJ one-on-one. Like, wow, I don't even love my brother as much as these guys love MJ. Kawhi Leonard, in person, who I just figured out who he was 5 minutes ago, Jack Harlow, shot a New Balance commercial that could have been a teaser for the White Man Can't Jump remake that Harlow is reportedly starring in. It's not, but man, now I kind of want to see a whole movie where Kawhi acts like the modern day Sidney Dean. That's kind of sick. Congrats to Klay Thompson on not only getting back to the NBA Finals, but also getting the bag from Fanta. Well, according to LaShawn McCoy during an episode of I Am Athlete podcast with Kyrie Irving.
Klay don't got one.
Klay got. I love Klay. What Klay got?
Klay's with Anta.
Who?
Anta.
The drink?
I could totally see Klay starring in those Fanta commercials back in the days with the girls who sang, wait, no, don't play. Damn. Now it's going to be stuck in my head all day. After Anthony Anderson showed off his very cool graduation present from Jordan Brand, the boardroom is reporting that the brand is set to become Howard University's official outfitter in the near future, making them the first HBCU since North Carolina A&T way back in 1997 to sign with the Jumpman. I know we got a long way to go before HBCUs can get the support and funding that they deserve both on the field and in the classrooms, but it's little things like this. J.R. Smith bringing attention to A&T's golf program, Steph Curry sponsoring Howard prior to Jordan Brand, and Deion Sanders getting under Nick Saban's skin for getting a player that he probably wanted. That will pave the way. All right, the controversy behind Zeta Kicks has rocked the sneaker world to its core. According to Complex Sneakers, the reselling company's owner, Michael Mascazeta, has filed to voluntarily dissolve the company. The reason? In not so legal terms, got real big real fast, and because they were unable to keep up, they're cutting their losses, potentially leaving a lot of sneakerheads and resellers on the hook for millions and millions of dollars that they may never recover. So how did Zeta Kicks get so big? Well, they used a very, very eyebrow-raising method of pre-orders. You know how we sometimes wonder what's the value in seeing leaked pics of sneakers months in advance? Well, for Zeta Kicks, it was everything. Citing Complex and Nice Kicks, what Zeta would do is offer sneakers for a pre-order as soon as they leak and at prices that were well below what they would probably resell for when they actually drop. So, using a hypothetical, because I never personally used the service, it would be like opening up pre-orders for holiday 2021 cool gray Jordan 11s all the way back in November 2020, the month they were first teased. Since you pay up front, that money is tied up for that whole year. If for some reason the release gets canceled, you can either get store credit or your money back, but with some service charges knocked off. Both sneakerheads and resellers alike use Zeta Kicks because they were straddling that thin line. The former could justify paying a slight premium because it would still be less than what the shoe would eventually sell for at resale, while the latter could still make money with the tiniest of profit margins. And since Zeta Kicks was known for selling legit sneakers that could pass StockX and Gold authentication, nobody could figure out how they got the shoes, but it was a win-win for everybody. Until it wasn't. Here's hoping that everybody out there who was burned by this news is able to actually get their money back, and hopefully the brands are paying attention. If there's one thing they can learn from this, it's that people are willing to pre-order however long it takes. Like, how crazy would it have been if Jason Tatum, the one who, let's say, leaked said cool gray 11s, also announced that pre-orders were open right now? Sure, it's a year-long wait, but once they start that train, they can open pre-orders for the cherry 11s as people are starting to get their cool grays and keep it going forever, man. Thanks for nothing but an idea that brands should seriously consider, Zeta Kicks, I guess. I mean, there's a win in there somewhere, right? Anyway. All right, let's go with the heat check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. We have the Armour Air Jordan 2 on June 1st for $225, the Nike ISPA Flow 2020 SE for $200. We have the Air Jordan 12 Emoji and 8-bit for $150, the Jordan 36 Flight School for $185, the Nike Air Griffey Max 1 Alternate on June 2nd for $170, the Nike Dunk Low Rose Whisper for $100, the Nike Air Max 2 CB94 Suns on June 3rd for $160, the Naruto Jordan Air 200E SP for $150, and then the Air Jordan 6 Red Oreo on June 4th for $200. And then our pick of the week, of course, is the Air Jordan 1 Low Golf Shattered Backboard on June 1st for $140. Do I have beef with this shoe because it uses nubuck instead of leather? Yes. Am I not happy with the use of pebbled leather instead of the smoother finish on the OG? A little bit. Would I have preferred they just dropped a golf version of the Shattered Backboard Air Jordan 1 High instead? Absolutely. Am I going to be on the Nike app trying to buy these on day one? You better well know it. And now for a heat check on Luka Doncic and the Jordan Luka 1 signature shoe. After leading the Dallas Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals, shocking the defending West champs Phoenix Suns along the way, the ride is over courtesy of the Golden State Warriors. Sure, Luka put up record-setting numbers in this playoff run, but his team was also exposed for being a one-trick pony. No offense to Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie fans, because while there is a foundation of solid role players, Dallas is going to need more star power if they want to get over the hump. Not only will they have to deal with the Warriors for at least a few more years, but they also need to contend with the healthy Denver Nuggets with two-time MVP Nikola Jokic, a rising Memphis Grizzlies with a ticked-off Ja Morant, and whatever LeBron can drag to the Lakers next season. Okay, look, maybe the LeBron thing was a stretch, but it's my show. I can mention my 17-time world champion Los Angeles Lakers as much as I want. Anyways, 4 NBA seasons in, Luka's trajectory feels a lot like LeBron James's early years. They dragged less than optimal teams to the playoffs, but in year 4, both made deep runs ahead of schedule. While Luka won't match LeBron's 2007 finals appearance, it's still noteworthy that they both beat the top seed in their respective conferences. That being the case, will Luka's trajectory in the future involve a move to South Beach or another team that will greatly appreciate his talents? Maybe, maybe not. But it's going to be fun to watch him get even better as the year goes on. And speaking of things that should get better as the years go on, let's talk about the Jordan Luka 1. It's not the flashiest signature shoe debut. I mean, the Jordan Zion 1 got a bigger rollout, but that was going to be a near impossible task anyway in the era of dunks, 1s, and 550s off the court and Kobe Protros on the court. Maybe a finals run with some black, white, and gold Luka 1 PEs would have helped, but I don't see the Lukas being that hard to find in stores when they drop later this year. And that's fine. Let the legend of the shoe grow organically. I know this segment is called The Heat Check, and we love to talk about what's newest, latest, and best, but I don't mind a good slow burn if that's the case with these sneakers. I mean, we are engrossed in a culture right now that cherishes sneakers that are nearly 40 years old. I think we have a long way to go before we can call the Lukas, the Zions, or whatever the Tatums will be a failure on sight. All right. It's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at a few things in the culture that just need to go, like the WWE's treatment of Sasha Banks and Naomi. Yeah, we're getting off 2 wrestling-related mini Hard Pass bits in a row. It's how we roll. Oh, before we get to that, there's rumors that, I can't believe I'm saying this, that problematic-ass Hulk Hogan is going to be Ric Flair's opponent for Flair's final match. And I just want to say, that. Anyways, let's talk about Sasha Banks and Naomi. 2 weeks ago, WWE and their women's tag team champs had a disagreement over how they were going to be booked over the next several weeks. To make a long story short, instead of giving the women's tag division some much needed shine, Banks and Naomi were going to challenge their respective champions of both Raw and SmackDown and subsequently lose. It's not a unique storyline trope. WWE has never really placed that much importance to tag teams as a whole and often used them, male or female, as stepping stones for their single stars. What makes this situation different are the people involved. Sasha Banks is one of the pillars of WWE's women division over the past several years, along with Bianca Belair. Banks was the first to have a straight-up one-on-one women's match to close out the night of a WrestleMania event. Not only that, after starring in a supporting role in The Mandalorian, Banks might be next in line to join the likes of John Peacemaker Cena, Dave Drax the Destroyer Batista, and the tequila shilling, Vin Diesel trolling, Black Adam hoping, Roman Reigns angling People's Champ The Rock to Hollywood. No, Hogan's trash-ass movies in the 80s and 90s don't count, so don't even mention those. Meanwhile, Naomi is one of the most beloved wrestlers on the roster, both in the locker room and in the fandom. After years of start and stop pushes to the top, this team up with Banks looked like her biggest opportunity yet. Oh, and she's married to Jimmy Uso, cousin of Roman Reigns, aka Dude with a Stroke. Despite all that, WWE still didn't want to create a legit women's tag team division with credible challengers or actual teams. So, instead of being jerked around yet again, Banks and Naomi walked. And boy, was WWE mad. Between trashing them on television, pulling their merch, and then the ultimate irony, placing a spotlight on the women's tag division by stripping them of their titles and announcing a tournament to crown new champs, they haven't been this heated and petty at someone leaving them since the days of CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Personally, I think both Banks and Naomi will be just fine regardless of what their status ends up being with WWE. If they come back, they'll get punished for walking out on an advertised main event on TV. But that's just dirt off their shoulders, man. No big deal. I just wonder if WWE realizes the optics once more details of what really happened behind the scenes comes to light, because people don't quit solely over getting a guaranteed spot at a premium live event. There's more to this story, and it's going to be an interesting few weeks and months to see how it plays out. Of course, this could also be the wildest work ever worked, and only Sasha, Naomi, and Vince McMahon know about it. It is wrestling after all. Always stay working. Next up, some things that gotta go. We've got the atrocity that is Balenciaga's collab with Adidas. Revealed this past weekend at the New York Stock Exchange. Oh, the irony of that. And people have thoughts. Well, people who did not pay over $5,000 for the hooded leather jacket or $1,000 for a bootleg Manchester United adjacent jersey aren't going to have thoughts. I'm talking about sneaker Twitter's reaction when they saw the three stripes flavored Triple S, arguably the king of the high fashion chunky dad shoe. Yes, we are still in the high fashion chunky dad shoe phase apparently, and well, it still looks like a pair of soul-swapped and logo-stripped New Balance 990s. Only thing that's changed is the three stripes are now on the shoe's upper. And that, my friend, is what you get for $1,100 plus tax. To be fair, I appreciate Balenciaga not jacking up the price too much on the sneakers, as non-collab Triple S's go for between $995 and a little bit over $1,000. But that's about it. I just don't appreciate much of anything else Balenciaga does. It's just lazy, man. Like an expensive inside joke between the people who work there where they try to do the minimal amount of work for maximum and try to play it off as a critique on society. Like, imagine the pitch meeting over there and they were like, hey, let's find some like 4XL Adidas track jackets that have been laying in a warehouse somewhere, add Balenciaga below the trefoil logo and sell them for $2,500. Someone's gonna buy that shit. They figured out the cheat code in the high fashion world while the rest of us are still trying to figure out what to press after up, up, down, down. Is there a way to respect someone's hustle while also rolling your eyes at the output? Because I kind of feel like that's where I am with this collab. And before you think this is me rallying against high fashion collabs with brands like Adidas and Nike and whoever, that's not the case. I like Adidas's work with Gucci and Prada. Yes, give me superstars made with the finest materials. Dior's exquisite take on the Air Jordan 1 was a landmark moment in the culture. Louis Vuitton's wider rollout of Virgil Abloh's Air Force Ones will be one of the most talked about drops this year. Whatever Balenciaga is doing though, it's not for me, man. And before you Balenciaga stands come at me for the comments, I just want you to know that I'm not here to yuck your yum. I just don't get it. But go ahead, enjoy wearing a jacket 4 times bigger than you with a full latex suit. I'm sure somebody likes that. It just ain't me. Before we get out of here, I just want to offer my love and support to the families of the victims of the terrible, terrible acts of violence in Buffalo, Laguna Woods, and Uvalde. I know we're a bite-sized show that drops once a week to make silly jokes about shoes, and I know that there are those who watch this show to get away for a brief moment in time. I know this because you tell me in the comments and in the conventions and everywhere in between. I appreciate those words. I really, really do. But it feels wrong not to address what's been going on. We have to do better, man. Call me naive or foolish, But I do think there is a tipping point where even the most hardened politician doesn't matter what the letter inside the parentheses is, because this is not a political issue, would support a change in the system. The problem with me is that I thought the tipping point was Sandy Hook. Turns out we're not even close. And now I don't even want to imagine how bad that moment has to be for real change to happen. Let's not get there, people. It won't happen tomorrow, but we have to start making progress. Please. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I'm Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. If you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your social media if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right. I'll see you next week. Peace.